Hi students, today we are going to discuss about plane wave propagation through oblique incident. So here in this topic there are two tasks. Task 1 is to derive relation between incident angle theta I and transmitted angle theta t and reflected angle theta r. So here the first task is to derive the relation between all three angles, incident, transmitted and reflection, and number 2 is to derive the relation between reflection coefficient and transmission coefficient. So reflection coefficient and transmission coefficient. First, look into the topic. Let us consider this is the boundary. Here it is medium 1 and here it is medium 2. Let us consider the axis is x axis, here it is z axis. So here it is x, y, z. I am taking xy plane. Okay. So whenever the EM wave is instanted on the boundary of any surface, some wave will be reflected back and some portion of the wave will be transmitted into the another medium. Let us consider the incident angle. Here is theta I and here it is the angle of reflection and this is the angle of transmission. So theta r is going to be changed with respect to theta I. So theta t is also going to be changed with respect to theta I. Means all these angles are depending on the incident wave, how the wave is incidenting on the surface. Now consider the propagation vector is ki. Okay, here I am taking two mediums or lossless mediums. So for lossless medium, the losses are 0, means the attenuation of the signal is 0. Here alpha 1 and alpha 2. And let us consider this medium 1 will have its parameters mu 1, epsilon 1, eta 1 and gamma 1. And these parameters are permeability, permittivity, intrinsic impedance and propagation constant. Here it is the attenuation constant is 0. So therefore the propagation constant gamma 1 is equals to alpha 1 plus j beta 1. It will become j beta 1. In the same way gamma 2 is equals to j beta 2. Here I am taking ki as the propagation vector. Then the magnitude of propagation vector, here gamma ki is nothing but gamma. So what is the magnitude here? Beta 1. For region 1, this is region 1 and here it is region 2. For region 2, determinant of ki is beta 2, which is the magnitude of this propagation vector. And here this is the angle and here also we have the incident angle theta I. And let us consider this is the propagation along which axis it is, z axis. And here it is, here and here. This is the propagation along kix. Here it is kiz. And here our angle is 90 degrees. In the same way, here also for reflection component, here it is the angle theta r. And here the component is negative z axis, means minus k r z. Here the propagation vector is k r bar. And here it is k r x. ఇక్కడ కూడా తీసుకున్నట్టయితే the propagation vector, this is angle along z axis here it is x-axis, and along y-axis there will be magnetic field components. So here there will be magnetic field components along y-axis. Along x-axis we are taking electric field, and there will be certain amount of electric field through the wave propagation. So here the boundary I am taking is xy plane or z is equals to 0 plane. So as far as you are concerned, the normal incident, then you have only two components. One is the incident angle and the propagation constant ki bar. But here the case is different. The scenario is different. Here the propagation vector will have three components, that is x, y and z. That is the major difference between normal incident and oblique incident. There will take only electric field component along x-axis, but here we are taking three components. So first take incident wave. So this ki bar is the propagation vector. The propagation wave is propagating along x-axis, kix into x cap plus kiy into ay cap plus kiz into az cap. This is the common vector, propagation vector, and from this triangle, if you see, take it is magnitude of ki, that is equals to beta. So from this triangle, this is beta 1, kiz, kix, here it is theta I. From this, sin theta I is equals to opposite divided by hypotenuse, that is kix divided by beta 1. Therefore kix is equals to beta 1 sin theta I. Similarly, kiz is equals to beta 1 into cos theta I. Just replace this kix and kiz with respect to these two values. Therefore ki bar is equals to beta 1 sin theta I ax cap plus, along y direction there is no propagation, there is a magnetic field exists here. There is no propagation along y axis, so we should not consider this. Okay, beta 1 into cos theta I az cap. Let it be equation number 1. Similarly, for reflection, the reflection propagation vector kr bar is equals to krx into ax cap plus kry into ay cap plus krz into az cap. Similarly, for this triangle, from this triangle, this is kr, this is minus krz. Why? Because it is along negative z axis, and here it is krx. So krx is equals to, here it is theta t, krx is equals to beta 1 sin theta r, krz is equals to beta 1 cos theta r. So krx is sin theta is equals to opposite by hypotenuse, and cos is adjacent by hypotenuse. So therefore the propagation vector kr bar is equals to beta 1 sin theta r minus, why? Because it is minus az bar, minus krz, right? So along negative z axis it is minus, so beta 1 cos theta r az cap, here it is ax cap. Let it be equation number 2. So the transmission, for transmitted wave, the transmitted wave kt, the propagation vector for transmitted wave is ktx x cap plus kty ay cap plus ktz az cap. So you know the again the magnitude, here it is in region 2. In region 2 the magnitude of propagation constant is beta 2. So therefore, again from the same trigonometric principle, you'll get kt z is equals to beta 2 cos theta t and kt x is equals to beta 2 sin theta t. So kt is equals to sin theta t ax cap. So along y-axis there will be magnetic field component. So here we'll directly consider only electric field components along x and z direction. Let it be equation number 3. Okay, we have Snell's law. By Snell's law, n1 sin theta I is equals to n2 sin theta t, where n1 and n2 are refractive indices. Refractive index of medium 1 and medium 2. So therefore, from phase velocity, from the derivation of phase velocity, the refractive index of medium 1 is c divided by vp1, that is equals to c divided by the phase velocity is 1 divided by square root of mu into e epsilon. So for medium 1 it is mu1 into epsilon 1, that is equals to c into square root of mu1 epsilon 1. Similarly, the refractive index of medium 2 is c divided by vp2, where c is the velocity of light. It will become c into mu2 into epsilon 2. So from this, sin theta I t divided by sin theta I is equals to n1 divided by n2. What is n1? C square root of mu1 epsilon 1 divided by c square root of mu2 epsilon 2. C will get cancelled. That is equals to square root of mu1 epsilon 1 divided by mu2 epsilon 2. So this can be written as sin theta t divided by sin theta I is equals to, I am writing this as 1 by mu2 epsilon 2 divided by 1 by mu1 epsilon 1. So 1 by mu1 epsilon 1 is vp1, that is vp2 divided by vp1. So if the medium is non-magnetic medium, if non-magnetic medium, then mu1 is equals to mu2. If mu1 is equals to mu2, then sin theta t divided by sin theta I is equals to square root of mu1 epsilon 1 divided by mu2 epsilon 2. Both will get cancelled. That is equals to epsilon 1 by epsilon 2. So here, this is the relation between a transmission angle to the incident angle. This has been derived by using Snell's law. So here, first task is completed.